You're waiting for something. Yeah. You throw it away. You can press off. Well, then we get 40 minutes with another. Oh. Yeah. Stop. I'm sure. You're gonna. One place. Oh, sure. So good. Once you get there, it's speed. It's yeah. Yeah. Usually it's like well. It didn't argue. Hey, I got from the kind of deal. Six weeks of meetings. You should keep your days. That was today. They were calling. Because I'm team. He called. This. Seriously. It's so
Chapman? Chapman? Ring?
Here.
Fox?
Here.
Tyler? Shearhart? Drake?
Before we. Further. They, indicate please, action item A. Just the second RE from 10 to 3.12. Can't do the 100 spot to 3.10. 10. That's the only amendment that I have. Can I get the motion to approve the agenda?
Rob, can we put campground report under the EPW please?
It appears. D, the new C. The new C.
UCD.
Campground report.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All in favor of approval of agenda September 13, 2023, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
We approved the minutes, I think, I just wanted to do the spelling on the public comment. Mrs. Carol, I think their last name is Angel. IN. Not sure if it's EL or L.
Here, I'll look it up.
Carol is spelled CAROLE. Last name INGELL.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of August 9, 2022, please?
Move to approve the minutes as amended for Wednesday, August 8th.
All in favor of approving the minutes of August 9, 2023, say aye. All right,
I'm gonna bring the president's report up to the top because there's people here, asking what happened to their water bill and why it is the way it is. A series of events occurred, and I'm gonna go through the timeline of what happened and how it happened and what we're doing in the future to prevent it from happening again. So, on Wednesday, August 23rd, the resident came into the office asking about the recent water bill. We investigated and found the wrong billing dates were used. There was a malfunction in the meter reader. Ally, you want to explain what happened on that meter reader?
Yes, so our meter reader broke after the last cycle that was actually read. And because of that, it pulled the dates from the previous cycle and not the current cycle. And so it was a software issue in that form. Because the cycle before that, I went in and I manually entered everyone's readings.
Thank you. John, can you explain how readings are done and demonstrate a meter or give some people some insight on the process real quick?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways. We have a few different style meters in town yet. Our newer modern meters is a hand tablet with a touch reader. There'll be a little puck, you tap it. So on their older meter, it'd be a manual readout, a dial that would have to be manually read and then put into the hand tablet. That's the two different ways we read them.
All right, thank you. So we have a problem first with the meter reader. Then on Thursday, August 24th, Ally called our accounting billing service software company, BS&A, to rectify the billing date problem. We then ran some updated sample bills for accuracy and found that there was a problem with the base water rate of $64.26. By that time of day, BS&A is closed. The following day, Friday, August 25th, Ally came in on her day off and called BS&A at 8 a.m. They returned her call at 3 p.m. During our conversation with BS&A, we asked what caused this error. The representative looked at past account activity and noticed that on July 19 of 2021, the former clerk treasurer had changed the base rate information. How do we know that? Because when you log in your username and a password. And then once you're into that software, there's an electronic fingerprint for everything you're doing. And this is directly from BS&A. They showed us the day that it occurred. Al, you want to explain it a little further?
Yes, so originally BS&A went in and they set up our account properly as a service charge. So like in the system, the amount was supposed to be as a service charge. It was set up correctly. I believe the next day, the previous clerk went in and changed it from a service charge to a minimum fee. And doing that causes the math on the bills to be incorrect due to it wanting to compensate to reach the base rate that it should have been. And so it was giving credits if people didn't use that many gallons to reach the base amount. So we have been undercharging people since then.
Thank you. So we asked BS&A how long it would take to make the necessary changes and create a more reader-friendly bill. Their response was 2 weeks. So on Sunday, August 27th, Ally again on her day off, Michelle and myself met in the village office to formulate a plan to get out the corrected bills. Ally would have to manually correct all 643 bills. We felt this option was better than waiting 2 weeks. We also developed a sample bill worksheet and a consumer template to allow the consumer to calculate their own bill verification. And this is what it looked like that we sent out on the corrected bill. It had an example of usage, and then they could put in their own end gallons, the beginning gallons used, and calculate their own water bill. They can go on to the other side, look at their bill, and see the two should be the same. I also wrote a letter of explanation to every homeowner that went into the corrected bill. Monday, August 28th through Thursday, August 31st. During this time, we manually corrected the bill. We generated a billing explanation template. We created a user-friendly bill generated the explanation letter and prep for a mass mailing. On Friday, September 1st, again, Ally came in on her day off, got the envelope, took them to the post office to get the record bill out as quickly as possible. So, following week, Tuesday, September 5th, through Friday, September 8th, I received several inquiries from residents about the amount of usage or gallons of water used on their new bill. Upon further investigation, we determined the incorrect usage numbers were from the meter reader error. The handheld meter is required. Analog dial meters no longer are available and manual reading is impossible. John, you want to explain that a little bit further and also why we don't read meters in the, let's see, in the February reading and to bring people up to speed?
Well, February, because you don't know if you're gonna have snow or not, it's just difficult. Because a lot of them are readers are meter pits, so it could be in their snow pile. But part of that, when the readings are manual readings, when that software pulled the wrong date, it pulled the previous reading from a previous reading, and that's why some of the meter readings are off. And that's part of what they went through, is fix that previous reading and current reading.
Thank you. Let's see, on Monday, September 11th, Ally printed all 643 water bills. Again, I personally looked at each bill and checked for accuracy. Any bill that was not accurate, I turned over to John and Ally. They cross-referenced the current usage rate with historical records of water usage to determine the accuracy of the current bill. Any household that was deemed overcharged for usage was received a second updated bill with a lower usage charge. A letter of explanation was also included in the mailing. Approximately 40 households out of 643 had incorrect usage data. That's 6%, which is still unacceptable. Moving forward, this is what we're doing to prevent this from happening again. One, we replaced effective meter reader after having it checked. The meter reader had a bad motherboard. Two, we're working closely with BSNA software accounting to make sure all of the parameters are correctly in place to create an accurate, easy to read bill. Three, improve the formatting and information provided in the quarterly bill. Four, replace non-functioning meters. They are $160 each and they're back ordered right now, 30 weeks out. I manually will audit the next billing cycle to ensure accuracy, just as I did last week, or no, Monday of this week. If you are here tonight, you can explanation for your individual water bill. We are unable to do that here because we have to pull up all the historical data, which takes several minutes per bill. If you leave your name, address, and phone number with Ally, I will call you and set up a time, either in person or on phone, to go over your bill and explain it. Ally, hold up this, you just go back there, there's a pen and paper, fill it out, and we'll sit down with all the historical data, and look at past usage, and we'll figure this out. Any questions from the board for myself, John, or Ally?
Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. That's all I have under, president's report. Number 7, public comment. Yes, Jericho.
Just letting you know, Antrim County is working on re-energizing their brownfield development authority. It's called the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. And I'll just read this briefly. Brownfield projects require private investment and sites that must be brownfield eligible. Currently eligible projects are sites that are contaminated, blighted, functionally obsolete, historically designated, or are a housing project. Eligible activities include environmental activities, abatement, and demolition. In addition, for housing projects, site preparation and infrastructure are eligible projects. The ratio of private investment to eligible activity costs is usually around 3 to 1. The minimum eligible activity cost is $50,000. So, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority is working in tandem with our Economic Development Corporation, which we have, it's called the EDP for Antrim County, and they're working on seeing if they can get some money for some of these places in Antrim County. They have various problems, like I just read, but this may be a way that we could put housing or other things on them and use these funds.
What's the total, is there a dollar amount that Antrim County has been allocated?
What I'm reading, the state has to have an approval of it, and it varies by site. So if there's a site and there's a project planned project, they'll evaluate it, and the local government and the state and Eagle, I think, are the 3 entities that have to agree to move forward.
In the past, the big projects around Barcelona, for the funding, is that those allocated, or the way those funds allocated, has that changed at all, or is it the bigger projects get the most attention?
I think it's been the case that the bigger projects have gotten more attention, but from what I'm reading, it doesn't look like much has been done in the last 6 years. So I think they're trying to get the ball rolling on anything.
And what's the process for capturing those funds?
It's complicated. I don't have the exact process, but it's on this thing, like. Every county.
And you read demolition, but not like restoration?
That is what I'm reading, correct?
All right, thanks, Jared. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, person.
Yep.
And, yeah, really, I just have a few statements.
Sure.
I would like to mention about the water bill changes before they occurred. You know, the
All right.
increase, base rate. Did we have a base rate before this base rate came into effect? What was it?
Let's see.
Yes, we did.
Prior to May 10th, 2023, it was $1.35 per 1,000 gallons. The base water rate was $34.18. See here. And then May's meeting this year, May 10th meeting, we raised base rate to $64.26. And the base water, or not the base water, $2.50 per 1,000 gallons. And that again was voted on in August 1st. Normally I don't take public comment, but it's a very unique situation, so. Get at it,
Any other?
no, but,
And, of course, whether we use any water or not.
correct.
For so 50.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not worried about the $2.50 gallon. Doesn't bother me, I'll just pray for rain during spring.
Yeah.
Long, you know, but I've been told that we were going to have a new sewer and water in Central Lake. That was what happened and started and hit up this past summer.
Well, it's going to start in September, hopefully USDA dragging their feet on funding. We'll have the engineer from Great Fraser here in October to give us another. Because what's going to happen first is tank inspection, tank pumping and inspections. Then they're going to move on. What's going on? Tank inspection, pumping and tank inspection,
They already started inspections, but part of the next round they'll start pumping tanks. And then, so the first round they're gonna do is, update like our pump stations. There's 3 in town and some cluster pumps. So, and upgrade so that will go to bid this winter. For like a spring project.
So they're going to start a new system or at least developing.
Define,
The septic field. Not but in the country. And I don't pumping all, a lot. And I just probably effectively working well right now. True. But I was told that that may not be the way things are gonna go, or you're gonna have to modify systems. Do something else and it's possible.
what are we installing a flow rate meter right now, they're debating where to put the flow rate meter, I'll let you talk.
So. With like that, all that was in the plan, yes, there was a design for a drain field, that got put back on the back burner, it got held up by Eagle, we've got now they say our metering is not good enough. So we have to, still waiting on a design to put a new meter, a flow rate meter in the system, which is not an easy task. And get at least a year of data. And then, hopefully by then we'll have more guidance and decide what we're gonna do.
So we're still looking at a couple of years down the road.
Yeah, it's a long process because I heard that Eagle had approved the plan, but then revoked their approval. So that's the kind of thing, we've got several government entity agencies that were trying to please. And then the USDA provides some funding, but we have to provide a fair amount. And they also look at our historical water bill rates and sewer rates. And if ours are too low, they won't provide funding because they're like, why should we help you when you're not even charging enough to maintain your own system? So that's part of what's driving some of the rates, because we haven't raised the rates in like way long time. And so part of it is the system is old. And now part of it is there's a lot more requirements that we have, and they change.
Okay, so it's very
Water,
water. I don't test for it.
we're gonna get through this billing cycle, the next billing cycle, see where we're at financially. And talk to our engineer and see what this individual suggests. But we've got next bill comes out in November. Yep, August, September, October, we do a November read. Look at that funding on that one. See where we're at.
Well, that's gonna help determine whether we're charging enough to the village to determine whether we can have to apply and get the other additional monies needed for this project. Okay, didn't know anything about the change in water or anything. I thought maybe a notice or something like that.
It was on the back of the previous water bill, we've been putting like a newsletter on the back of those. Cause I think it was like 2 of the water bills, along with like community events and that. That's why we went from the little cards to like a letter, so we could use the back of the sheet of paper to keep everybody. Maybe we'll print it on fluorescent.
Thanks, Tom.
Regarding that's what meter readings, the reading frequency, I don't know if they're that quarterly map out the quarterly. So the readings are actually taken. What is the, if you bill quarterly, is the billing post dated behind like a true calendar quarter, or is that how that falls?
I got it written right here. Billing, February, March, April, meters are read, around May 1st. Then you'll get your bill. May, June, July, meters are read sometime the first week of August. August, September, October, November. Bills are read rate or meters are read the first week in November. November, December, January, that's estimated because what John alluded to before, there's snow covering a lot of the meter pits and they're just not accessible. And if your bill is, and they estimate the bill from February, from November. And then, so if you closed up your house for the summer, you have a summer house, they would take your November reading and say, oh, I wasn't even there, why did I get a bill? You will be credited on your May reading. So that's how that goes. So you'll get a bill for whatever your historical usage was, but then you get credited in May. If it's left, thank you. All right.
So with regard to ours, like the has 3 pumps and minor things in the last meeting. Sorry, you're back to sewer. Yeah, sorry. So my understanding is that we're actually on that line, we're the only ones on that one pump.
That's done.
What's that for, like a backflow valve or something like that? The reason I ask is, I was at a state for a week, and I got back, I had the guys that ran out of that facility. This is basically an overflow outwork right now, we don't have any functions right now, really happening out of there on a daily basis right now. But during that time, just a few days ago, this week, wherever we got rain for a day and a half or whatever, they did flush it with it there, I think like twice that day period. And it actually backed up one of our water drains. That the engineering company that we're working with right now on some of the other things going on and site plan and everything there. Has been digging into it a little bit. And our tanks have been full. We have 2 separate tanks right now that feed and then into the village gray water basically. So our tank covers were full and capacity check and we're like percent capacity of that. And they're thinking that that backed up from an issue. I'm just asking it. What? I don't know how about it today. Yeah, I was just curious how that system works or having like any kind of.
It's unlike, but we can talk about efforts.
Anybody else? Public comment?
Thank
Please report.
Thank you. Hopefully everybody got a chance to read the report. A couple highlights at the bottom. Worked on a background check. Most of you are aware that one didn't go anywhere, so we squashed that one. I'll introduce Nick here in a second. Nick's our newest applicant for the part-time spot. I'll give him a chance to tell you a little bit about himself. Extra time spent at school, a lot of time now that school has started. Working on kind of filling the role of the school resource officer along with the CP program. And today we had another incident, and this is kind of like the 11th incident already since school has been going on. So I'm hit the floor running. So out of a typical 8-hour day, I'm spending about 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours a day at school. Hopefully that's short term because if we can fill a part-time spot that will kind of relieve some other things, or at least give the opportunity to, so when I'm there, obviously I'm not here and, so that kind of puts me behind and, complaints start building up and kind of get behind. So I find myself in the office more with the door closed and lights out, just kind of trying to catch up on paperwork. So hopefully that'll come full circle pretty soon. Based on last month, there was a couple of call outs from the campground. I think we kind of all discussed that, or at least you guys are aware of that. Somebody went to jail and a couple of people got some warnings, and I think we sent some notices out to some campers that they're not allowed back next year. So typically that doesn't happen once or twice summer, and I think last month it was bing, bing, bang, same day. And I think there was only one other incident. So we're kind of still in that 2 to 3 number or summer. So, but that's really too many for what we need to do. So Professional Development Day, part of teaching at the school, because I'm not a teacher. And I still have to attend professional development days. So when they were doing their professional development days, I kind of sat in on those. And some of it had to do with the ALIS training, which is about school safety. So even doing what I'm doing and what I know, I learned a lot from it. So it's kind of a good instruction there. So one of the things that's not on your list and I forgot about, but I'll add it here, is that we talked in the past about the drug box. We got the approval for that, the funding for that. So the Dole Foundation, Watershed Council has a good connection with the Dole Foundation. And when they heard that we were looking for a drug pod box, they could have gave us one that was really big that probably wouldn't fit in our lobby. So I was kind of asking, well, could we get a smaller one so it's more user friendly? There wasn't one that existed, so they had to go out and find one. They found one, there was a cost to it, and they thought, well, hang tight. We'll see if we get the Dole Foundation, who was very generous on some of these things that they do. They approached them, told them that, Central Lake could use a drug box and we'd like a little small one, and they ponied up the money. And along with buying the box, they are going to sticker it and do a lot of decals on it. So similar to the stickers that Ellie coordinated as far as that's on my door in the village and stuff like that, they're gonna sticker up our box and it'll sit in our lobby there where that table is. The benefit of it is there's over-the-counter medication that elderly people have, or even people within our village, even outside our village, because we use the one down at the sheriff's department or Elk Rapids. Those are the only two. So it gives a third location in Antrim County where people can drop off their unused, unneeded medication, so they're not falling into the wrong hands. We heard a speech not too long ago from the Watershed Council about people flushing down toilets into the drain field, or just even buried in the backyard and stuff like that. So it gives people at least an option to say, hey, listen, let's do the right thing, put them in the right places and stuff like that. When we have the drug box, we're kind of responsible for helping to maintain all the other ones. So we kind of get into a rotation thing where, we don't empty our own box, somebody else empties our box, and there's kind of some accountability. And actually that's what Nick does up in River Springs. So you probably can tell me more about it if you're really interested, but there's a lot of accountability and where it's going and who does it and stuff like that. So kind of I think a great thing. At one time, the pharmacy had a yellow bot jug where you could dump stuff in there, and it was kind of just and it was limited on what you really could put in there. So the drug pod box is nice. It gets empty every so often. And so other than helping to maintain other box, there's not really much of a commitment on our part. So, I mean, if I get put in the rotation or somebody from our department gets put in the rotation, they have to make a trip up to, I think at one time it was Emmett County, the transfer station, something like that. So just very, very minimal cost for what I think it benefits our community. So that's on its way here. Ellie and I were working with the Watershed Council as far as how to get our stickers and the logos and stuff like that. So, and they took the ball and we didn't have to do anything. They ended up contacting Pro Image and all the arrangements to get the stickers and everything done. So at some point, I think it'll get delivered and then we have to somehow mount it to the floor over there. So obviously no one, pops the door and takes off with the drug box. Well, and it's, we have a camera system and we have a lot of things that, help prevent that kind of things. Even if you got the box, you probably really couldn't get into it. It's kind of like an ATM machine. You did like the. So, and I'm not sure what the value of taking unknown medication out of a drug box would be, but I'm sure somebody would try it, so. Or any questions?
I have one question in regard.
Hey, Kai, can't you do that through public comment?
I can chat with you after. I'll talk to you. Any questions from the board? Nope. Okay, so let Nick introduce himself and kind of, like I said, he's kind of the newest applicant for part-time spot.
Hello, my name is Nick Strobel. I'm from Petoskey. Graduated high school there in 2014. From there, I went to Saginaw Valley State. Studied criminal justice with a minor in sociology. While I was in school, I joined Frankenmuth Reserves, which was a law enforcement agency that put us through a 275-hour academy. So it's kind of like a pre-trial academy. So then we got to work with certified officers out on the road, kind of give us a head start to make sure that this is something we really wanted to do. So I was there for about a year and a half. I ranked up to reserve corporal, so then I had people underneath me. Then after there, I went to Kirtland Regional Police Academy, graduated there. Then I started with the Little Traverse Bay Band Tribal Police. I was there for about 2 years. And then the spot opened up in Harbor Springs, which that's where I wanted to go. So I stayed there for 2 years, then transferred over to Harbor Springs, where I'm there now. Then my wife and I were driving through the other day. My wife's pregnant. We're having our first kid in December, so she's gonna be off work for 8 weeks. I was like, oh, this is perfect timing. And it's nice to notice that there's a posting, so I got in contact with Chief, asked him if there was still a spot. He said there was, came up the next day and started talking to him. And so hopefully it all works out and I spent some time up here with you guys. So, thank you.
Thank you for taking the drive down with me.
No, not a problem.
Campground report. And Shar, thank you.
It's long, that's about it. He's the lead, right?
Right, it is.
Right. About it. Any questions?
Will be closed up by our next meeting, right?
Here. Oh, thank you very much. Say a couple times.
Oh, most certainly.
Public comment. I want to thank Brian and Charles for their work this summer. It's been a couple of weeks, it's been a little trying, but got through it. They have agreed to come back next year. And Bryce and Michelle Hewitt was our co-assistant managers this year. They have agreed to come back next year also. I will be meeting with Snays and Hewitt's before the park closes. Got a couple things they want to discuss, but nothing too major, so. Yeah, thanks.
Very Thanks again, or I'll give Ron to be cut out. Let's see. Correspondence, no correspondence.
Forgot Jenna.
Take it away if you do.
Good month. Few minor water repairs, couple minor sewer system repairs, couple pumps, residual pumps. Few other system maintenance. Other than that, no big projects in August. Other than that, it's a lot of day-to-day stuff.
Ron or John, I've heard a lot of comments this summer about the way the streets have looked this year. And the sweeper going out every week. Everybody seems to be happy with that.
And thank you also for being around for the whole water thing and looking over bills and getting meters out and going to sites to make sure things are working in that league. Really good. Allie, you as well. Was it trying 2 weeks?
And if y'all get a chance if you go to the campground, Ron had a camper make up a nice painted sign for the fish house. Put that above the door and he painted the new fish house, so it looks really nice, Joe. Get a chance. Yeah, field trip.
I got it.
Field trip.
Just to go to the fish houses.
All right. Any questions for John, just from the council?
Oh, actually, one other thing. I did finally get to meet with Rob Silk. And we did look through everything, so I'm sure I'll have a quote for everything in a few.
That is for new pedestal down lower campground. Need to replace all the pedestals.
Yeah, we previously looked at the pavilion project there. We looked at a few things in the bathhouse. Not redoing wire and bungalow, but trying to redo pedestals if available. And I had them do some stuff to clean up the electrical boxes.
Where the campers plug in. Hopefully we will get it done before the campground.
Yeah, that should give us, but I'm assuming plenty of time to get them ordered. But he was gonna check on availability.
People, Bill. Total approved $53,356.47.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Roll call, please, we're spending money.
Yes, who supported? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Patton? Chapman?
Yes.
Ring? Fox?
Yeah.
Tyler?
Yes.
Shearhart? Drake?
Full business, meeting room rental rate, Ellie.
Yes, so we've had inquiries on if we would rent out our room here. I contacted the library. They don't charge to rent their room. I also contacted the township. They no longer rent their room, but when they did, they would charge $25. And if you return the key, then you would get that $25 back.
So it's basically just a key deposit.
Yeah, it's a key deposit. Yeah.
Have you had a lot of requests to?
For instance, the Hanley Lake Cove Association wants to hold their meeting here this week.
Halloween last year, the school or the reading people here with all their books.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I
Clio.
don't know the name of the reading. Lack of a better term. They set up in here, so.
I think it was the Clio Foundation.
So what are you recommending?
I'm recommending you put a key deposit down. Determined amount, maybe $25 like the township, and if they return it, we just mail back their check.
And then like it'll, application sheet. Should ask for that.
Yes, of course.
Do we need a motion to start that?
We don't think so, but we're not spending money, we're not changing any.
Hey, Rob, what are we gonna do about building security if they've got a key that we all have?
That's true.
Is there a way?
So if we're gonna do a key thing, if we key a door that is different,
Oh.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and they have access to one key.
Cause I don't want them getting the alleys on, so obvious.
That's what
That is a
it
difference.
just makes it an entrance to the thing.
Key only for him. Haley and I only have the key to the office.
I mean, if somebody had a key and let's say they made a copy or whatever, and then they return one key and now they have a copy. The accountability of keys and security would be a question.
Hmm.
Why don't we table it and think about it and go from Mike, you're gonna say,
And I think it requires a motion because it is a financial transaction,
okay, you're right.
even though it's net zero.
So,
Would we table this topic until the next meeting? When we have a moment to consider the security ramifications of putting the key out there for community use.
all in favor of tabling
Yeah, go ahead.
the key deposit till we get more information regarding security? All in favor?
Here's an issue we had down at the VFW. We had too many guys have keys, we had a bar downstairs. So we had to do the same thing. We had to change locks and go to this guy. Oh, no, you've been.
Yeah, I think that.
So that's all in here, but
Yeah.
we do have to discuss.
Right, if there would be a cost to rekeying a door just for meeting purposes. So we'll have to investigate that, see how that would be.
Mhm.
Ron, you're up again, new business, and Ellie, camping, they're on sharp. Camping portal time opening for the second Tuesday in January. Wow, 25.
We had discussed, I'm not sure which month, it was earlier this spring or summer. We was reserving people 2 years in advance, which was too far out. So we voted to only go a year at a time. So Ellie's got it set up, the second Tuesday, starting in January 14th, if I remember right, 8 AM. We discussed today. So really, it's something that we've already had in
Okay.
process.
Ron and Shar, you think this is a good idea?
Yeah. Too many people was reserving and we sent them too many refunds back. I mean, 2 years in advance, nobody does it. Barnes Park does it. They don't open their reservations until from that year. All right, so it's just too far. Shar is gonna take the village cell phone home with her for the winter like she did last year. And she received calls, she can do that now.
So, are we going for this year? Or we need one. No,
2025.
Oh.
Okay, there's that.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Action item. Justin Side Marine, where are you from 10-3-2010 on the next billing cycle? Take it away.
Okay. Deciding that on dogs and said that his RU we're at 10. He's using it more like a warehouse instead of a factory. In consulting with Jennifer Green, way to figure for a warehouse space. Which was their unit. It's roughly about 20,000 square feet. So, one. So, the way the committee figured it, we took that 20,000, divided it by 1,000, multiplied it by 0.1, which came up to about 2.1, just for the square footage. And then everything's supposed to at least have an RU. So I figure one RU added to that 2.1, give them a buffer, they increase use at any time. So that's where the 3.1 comes from.
All right. Thank you, Kip. You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to reduce their REU from 10 to 3.1 starting the next building cycle.
I'll support.
Second, right there. Let's do a roll call on this, please, Ally.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Ring.
Yeah.
Fox.
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Shearhart, Drake.
Thank you.
Action item B, approve payment of auditing service for $23,500 from the general fund. Ally, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, we received our yearly audit, I believe, back in March, April-ish, and so we need to pay for it now. And that's the total.
Oh, and the audit's in their mailboxes too. We have to give that out tonight. So they do.
Okay, perfect.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the payment of the audit service for $23,500 from the general fund. We're spending money.
Patton,
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Ring.
Yeah.
Fox,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Shearhart.
Yeah.
Drake.
Yeah.
Thank you.
C, approved price of the 2019 F-250 truck with plow. With plow to bid and sell. Brian, you've been kind of spearheading that. You wanna enlighten us what's on the plow truck and?
Well, it's a 2019, John, how many miles does it have?
33,000,
33,000.
9-foot plow. Western Boss V plow.
I think that we could start a bid at about 38,000, take bids, open them up in October. And we have 38,000 minimum bid. See how it is. As everybody knows, you go price it, good used vehicle.
I just did. It was just fall.
So I'll make a motion to, approve the price of the 2019 F-250, minimum bid $38,000. We will open bids on October 11th, 2023 meeting.
All in favor of, let's see, approve, bid of 38,000 for the F-250. We will take bids on that and open them up in the October 11th meeting. Say.
Roll, is there a roll call? Roll call?
Yeah, we gotta do a roll call.
Chapman? Ring?
Yeah.
Fox?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Shearhart? Drake?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, John, before I forget, can we get the plow attached to that truck and put it out here for sale sign out there? Make it all look like a nice neat car lot.
Yeah, you will.
Taking a spot.
All right. Public comment, you've been 3 minutes.
No, that's not, but it's a concern. People have needles that they use for their, all of their different things. No place to get rid of those needles. Do we have any idea, besides going to a local hospital or taking a trip?
That's,
Nick might know that answer.
so the pod box is no sharps, no
Right.
aerosol. So the watershed will come up once a year and that's the only place that will accept them at the hospital. So they could do a big needle drive once a year. But other than that, we don't have any, we don't take sharp at our department.
I'm pretty sure somebody is, how they toss them in garbage. I'm sure.
Talk to Scott about that and maybe we can figure something out. Something to be locking the building down in
Well, maybe something we can, either another,
municipality or something.
some type of foxy or something.
So we could ask the hospital for a sharps container and we could bring that in and then we would be responsible for when the watershed comes up to collect them on their needle drive, to drop them off.
Well, it might mean somebody has to just get a hold of me, meet me at the office. We'll put it in that thing, we'll put it in a secure location. I can put it in my evidence locker.
Be big and. Rob, can I?
Yep.
I received a call the other day from Eileen Denhart.
Yep,
She lives just south of their
right here.
XF site on Lake Street.
Yep.
And I told her that I would bring it up tonight at the meeting. I told her I knew what the answer was gonna be, but she wanted me to ask anyway. She wanted to know if the village was interested in selling that. Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor, motion to adjourn, say aye. All right, thank you all. Tom, thank you. Mark, thank you. Rick,